Woo, it's cold down here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fireball Friday. This is going to be a short Fireball Friday. We're going to do an unboxing, talk about reels, and then as soon as my dinner shows up, I'm gone. I may come back again tonight with another video, but I wanted to show you real quick. I'm still at a loss on which way to go with this reel on what just adding parts. Some people call it customizing or whatever. But I did want to show you, I've abandoned. The world wasn't ready for the Poison Adrena with the Steez Limited with this with these camo knobs. You guys weren't ready for it. I showed it to you guys. Nobody liked it. So anyway, I didn't really like it either. But I will show you real quick what I got going on now. And I know a lot of you will not like this. So anyway, welcome to Bass and Bonsai. For those of you that are new, buckle up and hang on because you're going to be in for a ride. Those of you that already know, Brew Tank and a lot of the other ones, the only old dude that is not back, not that you guys are old dudes, but the OGs from back when I was a couple years back, Jay, haven't heard from him, but anyway. So the Poison Adrena, and we're going to talk about what I got going on, trying to talk myself out of going back up to Rogers and buying more rods. But as of right now, they had another one of these up there for 250 bucks. And I know Brew Tank talked about, he bought one off, was it Tacklewarehouse had them? So anyway, the Poison Adrena is an awesome rod, and it's got just enough like little hints of red in the wraps. And it goes like all the way up the rod, just a little, like a thread's width or so of red, and then on the, we'll go this way, and then just really right there it tells you what it is, kind of thing. Versatile. Now the newer ones is kind of a orangish gold highlights, and it's got quite a bit of silver. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to present to you. You guys aren't going to like this, but I think it looks pretty good. What I ended up, I think I'm going to stick with this for now. I know, you guys are like, dude, those knobs are hideous. They're way too big, but I'm telling you, once you get, I don't know. I went from the single lifestyle to these. But anyway, I think that definitely looks better than this one. This was kind of a little wild looking for me. And that says a lot because I go with a lot of wild stuff. But I've calmed down over the years. I'm 54 years old. I just casually drink some Fireball here and there and bass fish, right? But anyway, that I think is looks pretty good. Definitely feels good. And I just like the way these knobs feel. I'm kind of getting to that point where the older I get, the more like I'm going to be the guy in the plaid pants and the mismated silk socks and no cares in the world. So I'm sticking with most of the other stuff, but I'm also at a dilemma. I've got now the Conquest, the NRX Plus, and the Super Destroyer, and I've only got one of these reels, and I wish I had two more because that's what I would run on it. So I'm going to have to pick which rod to start out with anyway, to put this reel on, and then I'll probably stick this reel, not with this handle assembly, on the other one. So the fact that the other two, the Destroyer P5 is the blade, and it can throw, like, it's basically for heavier bait, so it's going to come down to probably the Zillion or this reel on that rod, unless something else comes up. Oh yeah, and also switched. I put this. I had to go dig out the boxes. I found the boxes for this reel. This is the Habo Arise Elite. They kind of were trying to. I think they were sort of going for that steezy mystique look, when they came out, because they put the Arise down here. Definitely, gives you a little. Tell me that wasn't kind of meant to have that steez look. Definitely a high-end for Chinese reel kind of thing. It's definitely good reels. I think they're, 150 bucks for this one, the Elite. So I like I mentioned before, I think I'm going to end up getting rid of this reel unless I can talk myself back into it. But I put it all back to stock. I need to probably just peel the line off. It's a red, like waffle spool. So yeah, still up in the air on which way to go with this one. I'm debating about putting that drag star and that handle assembly on it, and then putting it on the Blade P5 Destroyer. And yeah, so let's get to the unboxing. I'm just in the middle of doing all that, and I've been waiting on UPS. If you guys remember, I had a couple videos back, I commented how UPS like did me dirty. I thought I was kind of blaming Tacklewarehouse, but it's basically UPS. Somehow they keep getting my address goofed up. Yeah, Big Mike Fishing Chronicles has a fishing question about a Daiwa reel, if you don't mind. Well, you can ask. I don't know if I have the answer, but go ahead. So from AliExpress, you guys know the deal. They come, one big box ends up being a bunch of little boxes, and it looks like this yellow box is gonna, or package is gonna be a bunch of other ones. So I'm gonna set it there for now. There's a lot of stuff we were getting in. So we got one, oh boy. So there's one, big one down to 3, 2, I think this is one deal. So let's open this. This should be, if you guys remember, I ordered some more. I don't know if I told you guys. Some more of these reel, or not reel, rod socks, I call them, or whatever. I think that's what is in the other one. So yeah, there should be 2 in each. So I got 4 more of those, and I think I already have 4. I think 1 or 2 ended up blowing off on Charles's, in the back of Charles's boat. But I got these because they're like $3.50 for 2, maybe. I don't remember now. But these are the ones, the ones I have. They're the same color. I just like that color, and I don't really care that do the like matching to see which one's which. But these have the little attachment to bring down and kind of adjust and put over your reel handle or whatever, so they won't fly off. Because the other ones I have are just like this, but they don't have this on it. And we were going down the road, and all of a sudden you're like, I think I lost one, Charles lost one of his or something, so we're like, oh, I need to switch that out. And they're cheap everywhere. Bass Pro, they're not even that expensive, but AliExpress, they seem to be pretty good. So I got some of those. I also got whatever that is. I'll just open it now and then open that other yellow deal. I know, I need to get a better knife. My knives look a lot like screwdrivers and scissors and everything else. But I'm telling you guys. What is this? Oh boy. That was a lot for that. So here, for those of you that don't know, you've been looking around at some of these knobs I got. That's all that's in that. I ordered another set of these because I don't know why. I get on there and I go to order, and it's not the Fireball. I don't care what Brew Tank says. And these are pretty cheap too. And I just always end up shaving that a little bit, where actually that's how those started out, and maybe even those, I can't remember, were like this. And I just kind of shave that ball off. I may just go just a little bit, not quite as intense as I did with these on this set. But I just got another set of those, so let's keep going with their unboxing. Okay, let's see what the question here is. So my favorite bait caster is the Daiwa CT Type R, but they don't sell it no more, so what can I buy that is close to the CT Type R? I'm telling you right now, do yourself a favor. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the black and red Tatula, right? Because like I was talking about yesterday, when the CT first came out, the original, like not quite this color, but standard one, and then had the Type R with the red. I couldn't make myself really like those reels, but I'm telling you right now, you will be happy if you switch from the any older Tatula to this, unless check what the line capacity says this Tatula is. If it's not enough for you, the 100, then probably go up to the 150. It's going to be the 150. So if you're dead set on the palming of the CT. This is a 100. The SVTW, the brand new one that's a 150, is going to be the exact same frame that you're used to on your the CT Type R. But I'm telling you, if that, you probably need to go to a store that has both and palm both. You know, even if you have to, a lot of times they got that device on them. To just ask them to get two reel and go find a rod that's close to what you have and put them on there and palm them. The weight isn't going to be hugely different, but the palming, how they've got this one cut down and they've changed it, and then you put your thumb. The other ones were not too bad, but they kind of set a little higher. I'm just telling you. This new Tatula, in my opinion, is leaps and bounds over that old CT Type R. I had the original Type R Tatulas. I had the I've had every version except maybe the Elite. I had whatever the fancy one was, I think right before the Elite, but there was one after the CTs that upgraded. Now I never bought they also carry the cheaper version of the CTs that I think you could still get right now. Maybe they're slowly whittling those down, but right there's the Tatula I recommend. The only other one, if you just don't think you like the looks of this one and you're in love with the way that CT Type R palms, go to the 150. It's going to have, I'm pretty sure it still has the boost spool, but it's going to have the new hyperdrive and all that. These are just a lot better. New, you know, $220 is what I think either one is. But if you want to splurge for a little more money, you can go just a little more. You can go to AliExpress, or not AliExpress, sorry. You can go to Digitaka. It's a Japanese site, and you can get one of these zillions for $230 now. They've raised the price on them. The yen, the dollar's dropping, boys. So we gotta, if you want something from Japan, you better jump on it quick. But you can get a zillion for like $230. And I don't know that it's, I'm still up in there. It's a little bit lighter. Spool's lighter for sure, so technically it'll throw lighter baits, but man, it's hard to beat this reel nowadays. This one comes with the drag clicker. This one doesn't, but I'm got one coming to put it on it. But if it's up to you, if you want to stick with the stuff that you can just go locally and pick up, go try to track down the 100 and or the 150 is what I'd go with there. But that's the closest you're going to get. The 150 will be almost identical, just upgraded, and you will be definitely happy with that. So let's on with the unboxing. Okay, we got some little packages here. They're not packages, they're actually the baits, but they're just loose in this thing. There should be more, yeah. So we got some baits right there we're going to get out in a minute, but then we got this. I don't even remember what. Oh, I know what that is. That's sort of related to the channel. It's not related to the fishing part of the channel, but we'll go ahead and open it real quick. And I think that's all that's coming this go around. So it's more GoPro stuff. So I still got to pull my GoPro out wherever it's at and get it going when we get on the water. I've been seeing these, never tried one. I may hate them, but those neck harness for the GoPro, you guys know what I'm talking about? So I figured I would just get one to try it and see what I thought. I mean, it's like $12 off AliExpress, so apparently you just it's kind of easy, flexible stuff, clips right on. Push the button, so you just put it on and then have your GoPro kind of maybe a hair higher than where it was, and this kind of flexible stuff. It's kind of heavy, like it's got a, so I think it stays down maybe. So I'm going to give this a shot also, along with that. I already bought another chesty because I can't even find my chesty. But anyway, that's stuff that for the channel, but not fishing related. So the final thing, the baits that came in are, let me move this stuff out of the way. I got a mess going here. I wasn't even going to do one tonight, but I'm like, I know at some point Brew Tank will be unhappy that he missed Fireball Friday, so I had to do Fireball Friday in order for him to miss it. But when I get done jacking around tonight, I might come back and show you what if I came up with any other deals on these reels. So what I got was some kind of like hair jig, regular jig, you know, just finesse football, real little small. It says that this is 7 grams. Oddball color. If you guys remember right, that follow the channel, I was mixing my colors to make basically that orange and green on a couple of my other jigs, and sometimes that's a crazy color that just works. And then just your standard kind of like a white, actually what our same color as our test jig we've been out there throwing. I'm usually not a white thrower of jigs other than if that was like a swim jig, but sometimes it may pay to good. That looks like a good color, especially now that's coming on this spring, like right now, once you get out there and start fishing. And I want to say these were $2 a piece. So, you know, you look up anywhere like the hybrid hair or whatever jigs, they're usually $5 to $7 or something. So I may get in there, and what I recommend to do, there's a good old black and blue one. I'll open this one, we'll look at it. What I would recommend to do, probably on any, I don't do it on all mine, but the stuff comes from AliExpress. If it says hand tied or whatever, and it's not like a, whatchamacallit, I'd recommend coming in there, wherever it's tied, and putting a little drop of super glue just to make sure their tie doesn't come undone. The weed guard actually feels probably just good enough. Let's pull this off and look at you guys get a good shot of that jig. I don't even really have anything to compare it to size-wise. Definitely a little finesse. So I plan on, I ain't gonna lie, that rod I just got, that NRX Plus 802C, that should be able to handle these right on that edge. Depends on how, I can't get that off. I don't want to hook myself. Hang on here. I know it looks too pretty to fish, doesn't it? Does look good. I mean, that looks like a very good overall made. You might want to put a drop of glue. No, the weed guard, I think. I'll tell you what, some of these little baits that you can get from them on AliExpress for a couple bucks are definitely, they're called what I call, you know, the expendables. They're cheap enough, you can kind of, you're not afraid to throw them anywhere. Because unless you're KVD or sponsored, it's kind of, I'll put it this way, it's hard for me to take a $15 bait, like a rattle trap, like a LV500, and just throw it anywhere without worries of, okay, so hook is starting out sharp, pretty thick. That's a thick hook though. It's a little bitty bait with a, that is a, I think the old Matt on Tactical Bassing would like these little jigs. They're pretty little with a big hook. So I may actually throw this on the, I mean, I can throw it on any of them, but the Super Destroyer, the rod I just got, the Lose, I don't know. You know me, I'll be out there trying it on all of them, and if it just seems like I can't get a good hook set on any of my lighter rods, I won't throw it on. But the Blade would probably be a good rod for that. Throw a little lightweight baits. Yeah, for $2, these were like, these just kind of cheap, generic looking ones that I ended up not even using because I got so many other jigs. I just was like, nah, these, they don't impress me. Those look legit. I will probably end up buying, I'll probably end up jumping on there and buying a couple more of each color because I can already see where, but I may wait and actually get out in the water and just see how they are. I don't know what it is. Sometimes the angle and where the hook is or something. Some jigs just suck at getting hookups with, even if they do get bit. Some jigs just, I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. I don't know the logistics of it either, but like I know the Strike King ones, any of them that say Greg Hackney, Denny Brower and all that, those are good jigs. And most of your like the Missile and a lot of those kind of stuff, dirty jigs and stuff, but certain jigs just kind of, you struggle with getting hook sets. But these look good, actually. I need to cut. So I know I'm bad about just not even cutting mine or whatever. Usually I would lose a fish and I go, I never cut the weed guard, and I cut the weed guard. But most people, and I still don't think it really matters, but most people recommend push the weed guard down and like right at the end of the barb, not where the hook starts, but like if you can see where that barb is. I can't even show you on here, but oh my God, these feathers won't stay down. You guys see that barb? So right at the end of the barb itself is where you kind of cut, and I usually just kind of cut like that, just to where none of this is going to extra that you don't even need anyway is going to interfere with that collapsing out of the way and that going in. So this one's actually, to test them, if I think they're going to be good, you got to imagine you're going to have a little more weight with whatever trailer or whatever you're using, but kind of the weight of the jig just pushing across your hand. Some weed guards are actually, and I've got some on those Mega Bass knockoffs. Actually, right. I was going to show you guys that one. So last night, the one I had in the video where I showed you how to make your own little keeper on a swim jig, tie the thread on and then super glue it. These little, those are nothing like, but these are like swim jigs. You're swimming them along, so you're not really. But I wouldn't want to throw, these are not going to go anywhere around where there's wood, because these will probably hang up instantly. But these definitely look like little legit, throw them wherever. And I mean, $2, throw them wherever you want to, 50-cent trailer on the end. If you do lose them, it's not the end of the world. So anyway, that's all I had for so far. Like I said, I'll try to come back. Let me move some stuff out of the way. Who knows? I may come back and have these just stuck on to see if I can make myself like it without. Let's just take the other one out. Let's see what it look like. Let's be like the real test. Let's put it together and leave all of the plastic wrap on our cork and foam EVA. Right? Well, sure. Why not? I should probably save. I save these until I get a whole bunch, and I just throw them all away because I get mad at myself. And then the next day, I'm like, man, I need a little baggie to put some of these parts in. So there's basically what this one. I'm still trying to find the drag star I like. So I started in the polishing this one up, and I just can't make it. It's almost like it's too much. Metal. So I'm kind of going, and like that's the drag star off of the Zillion. So it is the Zion, but it doesn't look right. And then I thought I went and was digging the boxes out, and there's the drag star, the zero adjuster off the Zillion, and it actually matches the handle off of this Tatula. That's the handle that it came with. But I don't know if I like any of that with the silver color this is. So I'm still, that's kind of what I do. I'll get down here and I may monkey with this, and I may pull a part off that one and switch it around. And before you know it, I've like transferred stuff around on these custom parts just to get a certain look I'm looking for. This reel, it may be best what I had it as. I had the handle that is now on the one I've got on the Poison Adrena on it. With this drag star, and it didn't look bad, but I know this is that little, some of you guys are like, this dude is nuts, but this is that little fine tuning your combos just to kind of make the rod match the reel, and it kind of all goes together. It's kind of a, if you guys, it's, in my opinion, I need to have like, the want to go and fish that rod and reel will help you also want to throw this or that bait, if that makes sense. It's kind of why when I was up at Roger, I just went ahead and bought these little, even though I've got kind of rods that'll do what they'll do. You guys know what I'm talking about. Your favorite, like your favorite, when you go buy a pair of new shoes, a pair of new whatever, that's your favorite for a while, and you end up throwing that. Next thing you know, you're throwing baits just specifically because they work best on that rod and reel combo. So I'm kind of like, I try to always just even out all my stuff. I want it to be something that is like pure enjoyment to be out there using that rod and reel combo, and then all of them to be the same. So then I can, basically turn my attention to what bait is, what are the fish eating the best, and then throw it on the what rod and reel is best for that, not just what rod and reel I want to throw it on, kind of thing. If that makes sense. You guys see where I'm going with this? Because it never fails. I'm always out fishing, and well, just a perfect example. It wasn't even new to me or whatever, but I was fishing with my Kang Teton 6'6" light, $98. It was under $100 from AliExpress. I've had it forever, and just simply throwing zinkers on a 16th ounce shaky head, like little VMC finesse rugby jig is what they call it, but I use it for like shaky head. This one's beat up from test casting. Look at that worm. You think that worm still catch fish? Probably not with that kink in it. But then, bam, like it never fails that the cheapest, or the not necessarily the worst, but the lowest end rod and reel combo you have usually ends up being the one you're like, what in the world? Why do I even have all this expensive stuff? So anyway, kind of like as you would go in and tweak little baits to build confidence, or to throw that bait and get out and get time on the water with it. It's kind of what I do down here, a little bench racing, like I used to do in RC stuff, just any little confidence to get you to throw that rod and reel, more, and do it to all your rod and reels. And you have more, what I consider enjoyment and overall time spent on the water, enjoying yourself with kind of stuff you put together. Even if it's just going and looking for a certain rod to match a certain reel, it palms good, feels good, looks good together. A combo you put together, you didn't just go buy one, because every time I end up buying a combo that's put together, it always lets you down. Perfect example. Well, I'll give you two. Bought that Lose. There's the Mock. I don't know. Anyway, that was several years back. Let down by that combo. The latest one is I went and bought the Bass Pro Shop 6'9" medium heavy with the Bass Pro Shop's reel. Kind of looked a little too much white, but it looked pretty good. And that reel let me down. The rod is awesome. If they would ever get a good reel that would hold up, and sometimes they have sales where you can put a Tatula up on the carbon lights, and they'll give you a discount that way. At the time, the Tatula they had was that cheap one I was talking about. It wasn't maybe it was the newest CT, but not the what's his face talking about, the Type R, Big Mike. And that, I just don't like that frame anymore. If you guys remember, I'd had the Zillion 10. I'm over that old style frame, and I think Dia was too, because I think they're weeding it away, except for they kept it in one of the 150s. I know. Somebody out there is dying for me to put this Drag Star on it. This Drag Star was a huge letdown. I thought it would come in looking way better. It looks horrible on everything I've tried. It just looks horrible by itself. And when I put it on something, it looks bad. If you remember years back, I bought a reel that kind of had this color. They had that one reel that was kind of like the GH100, but it was this color. And it was their version. They were trying to get like what Quantum did back in the day, but did it way better because it had more blue, not that darkish purplish green. It was more of like a light blue blended into this. And you can see there's a little light blue in there. If that would have been out here, it probably would have looked way better. But anyway, and then Abu Garcia with their Auroras, I've done it a few times where the reels just look cool. They look pretty awesome. They don't look anything like this reel, the Joker. That is a special reel. I know, he's a little special. He sits at the back of the boat. But I probably won't ever get rid of that one either. In the Kang Teton 6'6". Everything else, it's up for debate. I can't remember what Tatula I had, but I had a Tatula when I had the Tatula rod that I really liked the rod, and I couldn't make myself like that reel, but I think I'm going to like this one. I wish I had that Tatula rod back now, but Bonsai guy got it with the Corrado BFS, and he broke it. Said he broke it. You can't get those anymore. I only get like $70, 75. rod was cheap. I think it was a $129 rod, but I got it. There was a guy up north here. He just like, I don't know where he got stuff. I didn't ask questions. It's kind of like when you're making a deal behind the back of a dark alley in a bar or something. He had some fishing equipment. Like his whole house was lined with stuff. I think he was trying to be a seller or stored closed down. I don't know what happened. I didn't like question him. But he had all kinds of new fishing stuff just all over like scattered throughout his house. The dining room area was just loaded, wall to wall, rods laid up. The whole dining room table was full of fishing gear, baits, and all kinds of stuff. And I don't know. I bought a lot of different stuff. I don't remember exactly what I bought, but I saw that rod there. I'm like, what is that? I grabbed it and felt it. Man, I was like, this thing feels nice. How much is that? It's like maybe it's $80. I'm like. And I think he had more than one. I should have bought, that's one of those things, I should have bought more than the one I bought. But I bought it, used it for quite a few years. Awesome rod. I put it right there even, like on a cheaper level than like what like what I feel that for the shaky heads, well, technically anything, soft plastic, lightweight, bottom bouncing stuff, real small jigs. Probably could set the hook on this. Also had that like a stinger type tip, a solid tip, and then but it was almost too stiff. It was one of those that it was awesome for what it did, but it was almost overkill for as soft as the tip was, and then to how much backbone it jumped into. It was the only downside that rod, but awesome rod. Anyway, I think my NRX Plus, I just like them better. I'm also today, and then I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I gotta my dinner should be here anytime. I was going back and rewatching videos of me trying to talk myself back into keeping the original NRX rods I had. And I'm watching that video, and any time, and I don't know why I didn't catch on. I guess I just wouldn't let myself admit that the NRX rods, the jig worm rods, suck for a true moving bait. They are just not the rod of choice. Way too many lost fish. And I think it's a little bit of combination. They jump into backbone so quick. They're so sensitive that literally when you're moving any bait, it's like you can't make yourself not set the hook like too fast, like yank too fast, too sudden, and it's like any moving bait. But when I was back watching the old footage, I'm like, what was my thoughts on it back then? Because I think I remember what my thoughts were, but I also, as soon as I got rid of those 3 rods I had, I'm like, man, I sure do miss that. Just that extra little touch of sensitivity for those smaller bottom bouncing stuff or the mid-size bouncing stuff. It's like, definitely was something missing there. So sure enough, I was throwing, like I just mentioned, that VMC Finesse 16th ounce, 8th ounce is what I throw, 16th and 8th, but I was throwing it with the Zinkers, kind of what I throw it with nowadays more than, I'll go to these, but only if I have to. If they won't hit it, if they absolutely won't hit a Zinkers, I'll go to this or a TRD of some sort or something like that. I'll go down, and the last thing I will even ever attempt will be like a drop shot. I don't like drop shot to Carolina rigs, A-rigs, none of that kind of stuff. I like to try to stick with just the bait. I haven't tried to free rig stuff out, but I kind of started to dabble. I don't know if I want to mess with that. But every like fish that I knew, I'm like, oh, there he is. And I got him in when I was fishing the shaky head. Anytime I was moving a bait, in anything I was fishing with that, I had the 802, the older NRX. Now I got the 802 NRX Plus. But that rod, you could just like tell. Now I started catching the bite kind of died off to where the bigger fish went to smaller and smaller, and then I was just getting like they were basically grabbing the tail. And I don't know if you guys have ever had it happen to you. Maybe with worms, but they probably break the worms. But I don't know how many times I've almost got fish in the boat hanging on to a Z-Man bait, and like they're a foot and a half behind the bait, and I've almost got them to like I was going to boat flip them in the boat, and like I can get them out of the water, but I haven't yet to actually land one in the boat that way. But they will grab and hang on, and you're yanking, reeling them up. You know, I've reeled fish in that never had. You know, they're usually smaller dinks, and they've never even gotten the hook in their mouth. They grabbed the back. I set the hook and started reeling, and I felt the weight, and I'm like, that feels weird, spongy. And they're just hung. The zinkers are some of the worst because of the salt in them, and they're just like they're hanging on. That zinkers is like 1.5 feet long, and up they come. And then usually about the time I see them, they see me. And then they'll spit and let it go. But I've tried on a few occasions. I can't quite get one boat flipped in the boat yet without even being hooked. That's going to be an accomplishment. I don't even care if it's a little dink. That still will be funny. To like flip it up into the boat and you never even actually hooked it. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I'm anxious. I'm actually excited to get these out and try them, see what they do. I don't even know what I'm going to put on them. Somewhere between maybe one of those little baby billy goat things. Possibly maybe a cut down. One of these would probably be a good little, just cut that to whatever size I need to. It'd be a good little. There's all kinds of options. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later. And, get out and go bass bonsai, but whatever you do, don't freeze your fingers off and have fun doing it.